channel. So for today's video, we are going to be getting ready. I am going to be featuring some new makeup that I'm excited about. But before we do that, let's talk about my skin. Today's video is sponsored by Dramatica. This is my second time partnering up with them because I have been using them since February, and I'm here to update you on how my skin has been looking. So early March, I updated you on the first month. So I've been using it now for a couple more months. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in my videos, my skin has been really good. I started Dramatica when my skin was acting very, very strange. I think I was stressed. I had a lot of irritation. I was traveling between Maryland and Florida. And since I've been using it, my skin's been really good. And I'm actually coming off of another week in Maryland. And then I also just moved, so that's also really stressful. And my skin has held it together, so we are still going strong. My skin is pretty much completely clear. So if you've never heard of Dramatica before, what they offer is a personalized formula for your own skin. So what you're going to do is when you go to the Dramatica website, you're actually going to take an online personalized quiz. It goes really deep as far as you uploading pictures of multiple angles of your skin, and then their team is going to create a personalized formula that is going to meet your needs and what you want for your skin. Their formulas are best known to help solve anti-aging concerns, boost skin glow, reduce acne and breakouts, which is what I needed, hyperpigmentation, rosacea, and melasma. So your personalized formula will target whatever you need. And then once you start, their team is on hand for you to reach out to, because they do only give you a 28-day supply of your formula so that you can work with your team to check up on your skin, make changes to your formula if necessary. And for the formulation that they give you, they use evidence-backed ingredients like this list right here. So everybody's formula is going to be different. What I have is going to be different from yours, but I just love the personalized experience that you get, not only with the product, but also being able to consult with the team to best figure out what your needs are. And I like that it is only just one product, so it doesn't interfere with any of the other products that I have in my skincare routine, because you guys know I'm always testing and using different products, but this one has stayed a constant and my skin is looking very, very good. So I've been enjoying how simple the process is, and I really think it's very affordable. And if you use the code Morgan at checkout, you'll get your first month free and then 10% off the second month, and that's usually $24.99. So follow the links in the description box to start your skin journey. I mean, this one has worked for me, and I just think that the whole concept behind it is so neat. I love that you get personalized attention, a personalized formula, because skincare, as you know, makeup, everything, it's not a one-size-fit-all, and you have people to consult with to help you find what is going to work best for your skin and for you to reach your skin goals. So thank you, Dramatica, for sponsoring that portion. Let's go ahead and get ready. The main feature of today's video is going to be the new and very interesting e.l.f. products I've received. So in PR, I got some beauty wands. Not every single color, but almost every single color. And then I also received this American Eagle collection. And when I opened this, I was like, did they send me a pair of jeans? Because I own American Eagle jeans and I love them. But I was like, how did they know my size? Come to find out, it's literally a makeup bag. I think it is so cute. It's normally I try not to fall for collections like this, but this is just adorable and so well done. But let me first prep my base. Not using e.l.f. products for this, but just wanted to show you some newer products that I'm testing. Currently in rotation right now for my speed review, so I'm going to quickly throw on the Say Glowy Super Skin Foundation. I enjoy it, but I've been wanting to test it without a primer to see how it kind of performs on its own, to see if anything changes with that. I use a BK Beauty 101 brush, kind of paint my skin with this. So this foundation looks really light, but give it 10 seconds in the air and it oxidizes to my perfect shade. So it does go a little bit darker than what it comes out. So just keep that in mind if you're purchasing this in store. And then I'm going to use a sponge just to kind of press everything into the skin, have everything look a little bit more settled, smooth out any streaks that might have happened, and you can see it gives a really nice light coverage. I used a really glowy base with it the first couple of times I've tried this, so I wanted to see what it looked like without the glowy base, and it's still relatively glowy. It's definitely less glowy than I had originally thought. And then I'm quickly going to throw on the Revolution IRL Filter Finish Concealer. I'm still trying to get a feel on this. I've used it a handful of times, but I'm still working on this. I'm still coming up with some thoughts. But I do think I like this because Makeup Revolution, I typically like their concealers. They have a lot of things that I'm like wishy-washy about. But let me just pop this on. Okay, I'm gonna be really uninteresting, so I'm just gonna put my eyebrows on off camera, BRB. Okay. Before we get to the beauty wands, I do want to do my eyes. So I'm gonna use the American Eagle eyeshadow palette, which, oh my gosh, you guys, look at this packaging. So it has this over, which is like the exact American Eagle thing that they have on their jeans. And the palette is so cute. The palette also comes with a tag. I don't really care for blues like this, so I reached for like the neutral shades. For today, I really wanted to see the quality on those, but I'll definitely play with the blues eventually. The blue wasn't going to work with my outfit today, so we kept it very neutral. So to start off, I'm going to take High Rise, which this is on the butt pocket of every American Eagle jade. This collection, oh my gosh, I don't think this was sent to me in PR. I would not have purchased this by myself, but like now that I have it, I'm like, maybe I might have, because it is just so cute. And American Eagle jeans, by the way, are my all-time favorite jeans. I'm very petite and they fit me. They're the correct length. They flatter me where I needed to be flattered. So I love their jeans. It's just such a random collab, but so well done in terms of the packaging. So well thought out. So I'm going to then take my Esom G34 brush and we're going into the shade Cargos, and this is just the perfect neutral transition shade. So we're just going to blend this out, and it's pigmented, it's blending out easily. Look at that. And then you know I love like my more neutral toned looks that don't have like an undertone of warmth to them. These are quite cool, great for every day. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. And then I did need to see how much depth we could get with the color Corduroy. So I'm going to pop this in the outer corner. And I've got to admit, while I do wish it gave a little bit more depth, for an e.l.f. shadow, this is pretty good. These are on the better side of quality for e.l.f. shadows because sometimes they can be hit or miss for me. Not speaking about the blues though, because I haven't tried them, but these neutral shades are pretty good, especially for that price point. I'm not mad at it. They're all very workable to how you are going to want them to look. So see, we got a little bit of depth, but it's not as much as I wanted, so I went into Major Flare, which is a black shade, and I'm just using a little bit just to get a little bit more depth out here. And this is fine. The black works pretty good. I also used that as an eyeliner, and it was good. It kept the pigmentation, so I'm not mad. Pretty happy with this, actually. And then I'm going to go into the shade Cute Overall, which is like a taupey shimmer shade. This is my jam. I love shimmer shades like this. And look, it's pretty creamy, and it certainly gets the job done on the eyelid. So very happy with that. And then I'm using this one, Low Rise, which is really interesting because it's got a couple different shades mixed in, but when you mix them together, it's just like a shimmery, light gray, taupey hybrid kind of shade. Nothing super extraordinary about the finish of it. It's a shimmer shade, but I'm gonna blend these. I want to have a little heavier on this eye compared to this eye with the shimmers. I'm gonna have to even that out off camera. And then lastly, because I did want to test out this silver, because typically silvers are really, really good and easy to make. This is 90s vibe. I need to use this in a larger capacity, I guess, but I wasn't super impressed with this. It's not bad, but that's that. And then I'm going to take my BK Beauty 208 brush, and we're going to go into Major Flare, which is the black. And I've been using eyeshadow for eyeliner because it's just so much easier. It's a little softer, you know, it's not as dramatic as a liquid liner, but It gets the job done. It gets the definition there. See, really pretty. So overall, the quality of this, I do need to clean up a little bit, but I'm really happy with this in terms of it being e.l.f. Like, it's really good quality for e.l.f. It's affordable, and I think the marketing, the packaging, the branding, everything is adorable. So if you are into this color story, or you really like American Eagle, this is such a cool palette, and I'm so thankful they sent it to me. I liked it way more than I thought I would. Now, before I finish the eyes, let's get to the most exciting part of the video. e.l.f. launched these Halo Glow Beauty Wands, and you know who they were trying to copy with these. Now, this is not a first impressions. I played with this a little earlier today, but I actually did a direct comparison, one side of my face with the Charlotte Tilbury, and then the other side with the e.l.f. And I definitely noticed some formulation differences that I'm going to talk about. I haven't like put these on my face on their own without wanting to compare it to the Charlotte Tilbury, so we're just gonna see how these do on their own. I'll put 2 different blush colors, 2 different highlight colors. So these are $9 each, which is a quarter of the price of what the Charlotte Tilbury costs, which makes this a big deal. They are quite different. The packaging overall is smaller, as is the sponge tip applicator. It's very similar to the Milani, but as we go, I'll talk about the differences if you need to know, and just how they are as a standalone product. I think the packaging is really cute. I think it's exciting that they kind of came out with their own version of this. I know some people have their thoughts, but overall, $42 is a lot for what Charlotte Tilbury is trying to sell. So I'm going to use the contour shade in the shade Fair Light. This one's a little bit more gray. I haven't tried this on my skin tone yet, so some of these are kind of first impressions. This is very, very gray, so if you're very fair, I think you will really like this shade. For me, I'd probably, if I want to contour, would mix this shade with the light medium. Now for me, I don't really care for the sponge tip applicators. In theory, I like it, right? But I don't know, these sponge tips, I feel like if you accidentally squeeze too much, the cap is a little too tight to the sponge and it makes the inside of the cap kind of gross. So I don't like the feeling of leaving that residual product on top of the sponge. That's just how I feel. But anyways, it's not that big of a deal. But this is a really great true contour shade. Just more gray than I prefer for myself. But that worked, kind of. Definitely would mix it next time. But I wanted to know. Really great for fair skin. Well, this shade, really great for fair skin. Now the shade for me is gonna be the light medium. They also have, well, sent me medium tan, which is definitely gonna be too deep for me. So if you're my skin tone, light medium. So I think I need to squeeze out a little more. See, I really like this shade. This for me is a good contour shade. And I'm gonna put it right here. And then right here. Along the forehead. We'll do half of the face first. I want to put a little bit more on the nose. What I found with this is the formula is much different than the Charlotte Tilbury. If you've tried the Charlotte Tilbury, it's a little watery, right? You can't feel. So when you test the product of the Charlotte Tilbury, you don't think it's going to be watery, but when it blends out, it's almost like water by how the product shears out. This one is definitely more creamy. It doesn't shear out as thin, and you can say, I mean, it's doing okay with the blending out, but it definitely dries a lot quicker than the Charlotte Tilbury. So having it sit on my face like this is not a good idea. You have to do a quicker application. It's a little harder to blend out. And I posted this on everything in short form. I prefer the Charlotte Tilbury formula to this, but I don't think that this is necessarily a bad product. I do have to put a little bit more elbow grease into the blending. Like normally I can just pat, pat, pat with the Charlotte Tilbury and it blends out on its own. With this one, I do have to put a little bit more pressure, a little bit more swiping motions to blend the product out, but it works. It's very pretty. It's a quarter of the price. So in terms of the contour, I think the formulation is completely different from Charlotte Tilbury. Definitely not a dupe. I think the Charlotte Tilbury is a little easier to use, but I think this one is fine for $9 as a standalone product. as a cream slash liquid contour, it's fine. Look at it. I think the shade's really pretty. It holds pretty good pigment, so I like it. The Charlotte Tilbury, I feel like, just has a unique formulation. There isn't another liquid slash cream contour that has been so thin but carried so much pigment but also sheared out so easily. But look, this blended in like butter. It looks really beautiful. I really like this contour shade itself. Now the blushes, I'm really iffy on. They sent me 3 shades, and these have that glittery, not glittery, but shimmery finish like the Charlotte Tilbury. This one is totally a Charlotte Tilbury wannabe dupe. Okay, I'm gonna put these on. The first shade I'm gonna do is the one I haven't tried yet. So this is Candlelit. This is the lightest one. And there's not a lot of brands out there that will make a shimmery kind of liquid product like this, which makes this definitely a copy of the Charlotte Tilbury. So I started off light with the darker colors, and I just want to show you. Very, very subtle. It definitely shears out. And that's how much product I would apply with the Charlotte Tilbury. And if it were the Charlotte Tilbury, I'd have more pigment. But you really do need to build these up if you want to get pigment. And you can absolutely get pigment to make it look like the Charlotte Tilbury. But if you apply the exact same amount, which is what I shared on my demo on the short, the blush is definitely more sheer. Now this is just a more sheer color in general. Very pretty. Definitely going to be more appropriate for those of you with a lighter skin tone than myself. But pretty. It has a sheen. I don't find it to be unflattering on the cheeks as well. Like, not too shimmery, but it is more sheer. I'm gonna go in with a darker color. Let's do Berry Radiant, which is the darkest color that they sent me. And this one shears out too pretty easily. So you see how dark it was? I was definitely very careful the first time I applied this. And look, when you blend it, it kind of stains, because it's a darker shade, so you do gotta work fast. If you pick up this darker shade, I recommend doing one cheek at a time because it gets harder to blend the longer that it sits on the cheek, but it definitely shears out. And for a shade that looks like this, I was hoping it would have more pigment for those of you with a deeper complexion. So to get this to really show up on the cheek, you do really need to build it up and layer. So just keep that in mind. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something to know about the application. So this formula, comparing it to the Charlotte Tilbury, it definitely carries a lot less pigment. It shears out, but I think the finish of it is kind of similar to the Charlotte Tilbury. Again, not a dupe, but definitely like a vibe dupe. You know, you can definitely get the look with this. So this is one of the darker shades that it offers, and I can definitely make it work for me, but I can build up the pigment. I didn't build up the pigment in that short I posted because I was testing it as a dupe, so I wanted to apply the exact same amount. You do have to apply a little differently. I'm going to put a little bit of Rosé You Slay on this side to add a little bit more color. And I'm keeping the lights low on the camera so you can see how this is sitting on my cheeks. Since I have so much of the residual on my brush, I'm going to use a sponge to work it out. You can see it's almost like a little patchy here, but I'm going to work on blending it out. I honestly prefer using a brush like this, a synthetic brush. I think it works it out a little bit more even. But yes, you can build pigment. That is what I failed to show in the short video, which is why I do long form videos. But comparing it to the Charlotte Tilbury, what makes it different is the fact that you do need to build it up. And it's a little patchy right here for some reason. It does not like this part of my face. It's a little bit of a red flag. I'll keep an eye on that as I continue to use this product, which leads us to the last one, which is the highlights. Now the shade Liquid Gold is going to be too deep for me, so I'm going to skip out on that. Let's try Champagne Campaign, which is this lighter shade. Now off bat, this is a very different formula than the Charlotte Tilbury. It is more sheer and it also is less metallic. Definitely get more strength from the Charlotte Tilbury. But I think it's very pretty on its own. It's a little different, but I think it looks good. And I don't normally like liquid highlights, but this Champagne Campaign just blended beautifully into the cheek. I'm going to do a second layer so you can see. It's just more natural, but I think it's really, really beautiful. So that's Champagne Campaign. I like that name. I like saying it. Let's do Rose Quartz, which is a tad deep for me, but we'll make it work. This one is very close to my natural skin tone depth-wise, so it doesn't do as much. But this one is pretty similar to one of the Charlotte Tilbury highlight ones. I think it's the Pillow Talk one. It's not pretty. Very natural. Blends into the skin. I did have a little bit of powder on. I set with a little bit of this CoverGirl Clean Invisible powder, but not on the outskirts of my face where I applied the e.l.f. Looks good, right? So yeah, I mean, not a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. They are not the exact same formulation, but I definitely think that these are a great alternative to get the look. If you've been wanting to try a product like this, it gives you the glow to the cheek. From what I can notice, it doesn't disrupt anything underneath. I do have this weird questionable patchiness, but that didn't happen last time that I used this. So I don't know if it was like a freak accident or whatever, but it's nice. I really like it. I think that these are an asset to the drugstore, for sure. They are not better than the Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury is most definitely superior in quality, but these are a great addition to the drugstore, and I think the formula is definitely good for $9. So let me finish my lashes, and we'll finish off with the e.l.f. lip product that I have. Last thing is lips. So there were only 3 things in the American Eagle collection. The Get Cheeky Clay Mask, which I'm not test driving today, but there also was this Perfect Fit PHIT lip balm, because it's one of those pH things where it like warms to your pH, becomes your perfect shade of pink. Anyways, here's the packaging, really cute. I don't know, I tried very few of these in my life, and this one looked crazy because it's blue. And so they say this is a it magically transform to your ultimate pink lip. So here we go. Ooh, it definitely feels like a lip balm. Okay, let's just leave it at the top and see what happens. I'm gonna layer on a little bit. Can you see a difference? Does this look like my perfect pink? It's a little darker. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little longer to see if anything else happens. Oh, it says apply 1 to 2 coats, then press lips together to activate. Okay. We read the instructions. It looks a little blue, actually. Okay. I feel like I can still see a film of blue on my lips. Am I crazy or does that look blue? Nah, I'm not really about this one. So of the American Eagle collection, the only thing I'm like gung-ho about is this American Eagle palette, which I just stained with my makeup wipe. So now it's not as cute, but I think this is really good for the price. I think it's good quality for the price. Also, this makeup bag in the collection, come on, this is like a real pair of jeans. This looks so good. I'm convinced that this is a recycled American Eagle tag, right? How neat is that? And then what else did I review today? Oh, these guys. They're pretty good. They're not amazing, they're not groundbreaking, but they're pretty good. I see what they did there, and they did a decent job with it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful just playing with these new products from e.l.f. that quite honestly were calling my name to play with. A huge thank you to Dramatica for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you use the code Morgan at checkout. I'll have the link down below. With it, you'll get your first month free and then 10% off the second month. I just think it's a really affordable way to get a personalized skincare treatment for you. It's no skin off your back, honestly, because you can use your regular products while also doing this on top. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good one. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys, have a good one.